break, we had a little bit of technical issues talking about Bruce Willis and Gene Hackman and carers. We're going to go back now to Annabelle Reid in Canberra. Annabelle is from Carers Australia. Annabelle, thank you so much for your time. We've got you now, don't we?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Now, those circumstances of Gene Hackman and his wife, it does bring the issue of carers into the spotlight. Why is it important that we prioritise them?
Well, Australia has 3 million unpaid carers, so they're friends and family members taking care of someone because they have disability, frail and aged, or they have chronic health and mental health conditions. So it shines a light on the people that work very hard to support another human but aren't recognised. They're not paid or remunerated in any way, but also we often treat them like an invisible person. And I think that story was so sad, the Gene Hackman story. But what it really revealed is that anyone, no matter where you are, no matter how much money you have, caring is incredibly difficult, and it can be incredibly isolating and lonely. And those support networks are so important to build around carers to make sure that really, really terrible failure like that doesn't happen.
Well, what is in place in Australia right now to support carers? And give us a sense of what it does look like to be a carer in Australia today.
Yeah, sure. So being a carer, is volunteering your time to support another person with the tasks of daily living. For many carers, that could be an average of 36 hours a week for a primary carer. But in some parts of Australia, caring hours can be averaged at 100 hours a week because there just aren't as many support services that you might imagine there to help. So we do have carer supports in Australia. We have the Carer Gateway, which is a nationally funded service that provides things like counselling and peer support and some respite. But I want to flag that there's not enough respite for carers. So we even hear of carers if they have surgery they have to go and have or something like that. Getting respite is incredibly challenging, and sometimes they even have to take the person they care for with hospital with them, because there's not another option. So that's how being a carer can be quite challenging, where there aren't those supports. There isn't that time off, and it starts to affect carers' well-being and even finances, where they can't engage in paid employment.
So what are we doing here in Australia to support carers? What else can we do? Is this a government thing? Is it more funding?
It's a government and it's a society thing. So I certainly would call upon the government for further investment. I mean, there's been great recognition of carers with the release of the National Carer Strategy last year. But what Carers Australia really wants to see is action. There's an action plan, and we want to see that go forward, which is all about providing more supports for carers, because we can't afford for carers to fail. They're supporting our health and disability systems to the tune of about $77.9 billion. So that's what we'd have to pay to replace all those carers with paid workers if, unpaid informal carers were no longer able to continue. So it's important we do more, but also in terms of our community and society, we can do better to recognise carers. And that might mean things like, when a carer goes for a health appointment with the person they care for, simply recognising that they have some expertise about the person they care for, and they're not an invisible person, they're not wallpaper or furniture. They're there and they have a voice too, and that can achieve better health outcomes for the person they care for, but also help with supports and recognition for themselves.
Goes a long way.
Well, Annabelle, we appreciate your time this morning. I know we had some technical difficulties there, but it's an important message, so we're glad you can make it.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.